Hi everyone, I'm Claire from Strange List Sessions. I'm here with my partner in crime, Janine from Graeae Horror, and we have Owen from the R.I.P Man movies with us today. We're just going to have a little bit of a chat, get to know him, and you can find out what you're going to experience when you meet him in September. So, Janine, over to you.
Thank you so much. Hi, Owen. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good today, thank you.
Good, great. So we're going to start by delving into your experience with the R.I.P. Man. For everyone attending Strange Little Obsessions will know you probably best from that film. When did you first read the script, and what was it that grabbed you about the role?
Um, so I first read the script in I think it was like July of 2024. Jamie Langland's the director just sent me a message on Facebook, like really bluntly, actually, just been like, "Are you free this day?" And then he wrote, "Would you like to play the title character in this film?" And then sent and just sent the script and was like, "Here's the script." And I was excited because I love horror, and I knew I was going to say yes anyway because I'd never really been in, especially never been in the slasher film, so that was quite an exciting prospect for me. But yeah, I was quite excited for the role because it's a killer with a lot of depth. Like there's a lot of things to him, there's a lot of motives, there's a lot of backstory, there's a lot to work with there, and it seemed like it was going to be really fun. So I was excited from the moment I was offered it. Yeah.
No, definitely. And you mentioned about the character, without giving too much away, that was one thing that I really enjoyed from the film, was it wasn't just your typical antagonist and a slasher villain. They had a heart, they had a motive that was unlike anything else I've seen, really.
Yeah, yeah. Well, sorry, you're talking about his his motive. I
Yeah,
mean, obviously, like
yeah.
it's not giving too much away, saying there's resentment in his motive, which I think is quite a strong one because as resentment can lead to a lot of irrationality, which obviously is certainly the route my character took. So
And
yeah.
what is it that really goes through your mind when you realize that I'm one of the main characters in this feature? You know, you're the dominant figure on the posters, for example. What is your mindset like going into that production?
I mean, it's been really exciting. I didn't really process it when I got offered the role because I've been acting for so many years, and like most actors, like most projects you do, you film them, you might get to watch it later, and then it's sort of forgotten about. So I didn't really imagine, I couldn't have even imagined that it would have widespread as much as it has, got as much following as it has, and seeing my face everywhere, like as a different version of my face as it is, it's still my face everywhere, which is I'm kind of getting a little used to it now, but it's still surreal when I think that people are constantly sharing all these images of me and stuff. Like it's exciting. It's and yeah, I say when I first, even after doing the first opening scene, it didn't clock with me that that was going to be happening, that social media was, at least my part of social media was going to explode with stuff about it. And
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
wonderful. And what is it that makes this character so different from anything else you've done in the past?
um I think like some of the reason he catches on is because he's quite a visually striking character. There's a lot of things to him. I mean, obviously, like yeah, it's a memorable looking character that you won't forget the moment you see it. And also, like things like the mouth guard, the fact he has no teeth, the fact that he collects a single tooth from each victim. That's something that I think makes a lot of people wince because the mouth is like a really private area that no one really wants interfered with. And then he's going in there with a big drill bit with wings. Like, it's gnarly. It's gnarly to think about without even seeing anything. And I think that sticks with people. Yeah, and I just think the way he moves and behaves, and the fact that he takes pleasure but doesn't but not to a point of playing around. Like he's direct with his motives, but he also takes pleasure in it, and I think that makes people a little uneasy too, because yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to say, as somebody who really sides with the villainous characters over your protagonists, I'm kind of like, I always err towards them, but there's got to be there's got to be an original trait to them. There's got to be a reason why you would put them above the lives of the victims, right? And I felt that character, definitely their backstory, once you come to learn that, watching the first film, that really gave me a place where I was like, okay, I can root for them now. Yes, they're vile, but I'll root for them anyway, you know.
There's stuff to sympathize with there, and there's like, obviously you can't justify what he's doing, but you could almost imagine the path he went through to get to where he is, and I think the story does a really good job at laying out that story, and making you understand him to a degree, even if you don't agree with him.
No, exactly. And how did you find actually portraying that character? Did you bring any of yourself to the role?
Quite a detachment from myself, but I often find that's where I'm most comfortable as an actor. The less of myself I can put into the role, the more I feel I can get into it, in a way. I don't know. It feels like when I play a character that's close to myself, I find it harder often, because I don't know. I think there's a part of me that sometimes is questioning: am I truly being this character? Am I just playing myself? Yes, as silly as that sounds. Where when I'm playing something like Alden Pick, it's a complete escape from everything, and I just go completely into that zone of what built that person. And then I was given references from Rhys the writer as well. He was telling me to sort of behave like Nosferatu from Klaus Kinski's version. He wanted the movement from that, so I certainly made sure to incorporate the way that character behaves. I gave some of that into Alden Pick, and he also wanted the character from the Last Action Hero, the Ripper from that. He wanted, because he gives really strong visceral facial expressions where there's a lot of close-ups on his face, and I think Rhys really envisioned some gnarly expressions from Alden Pick, and so I tried to give that and studied the way that character used his face and added that into it as well.
That's a really interesting reference, the two combined, when you think about it, because that character in R.I.P Man is so statuesque, he's so stoic, but the way that they move is very Nosferatu-like. They almost float between scenes, and it's actually adds to the terror. It's quite worrying.
Yeah, and it's a contrast as well, because obviously Nosferatu is quite a controlled character, and then the Ripper's quite an uncontrolled character. So it's quite a nice contrast of the two as well.
And did you bring any of your own backstory or any other creative choices to the character that weren't necessarily in the script or the direction?
There were some things I thought of that, I mean, I tried to take as many things from the script, and there was a lot there, so it wasn't like I was starved for ideas of what to bring to the character, because there was a lot of the film is about this character's backstory, which is great as an actor because you're given so much material. Little things I did try to add to it though was I tried to have that focus on getting that tooth, and my mindset when in the films, I tried to make it so when he knew that he had the character in a vulnerable position and he knew that he was going to get that tooth, I tried to make it so I did it so his face lit up and he was suddenly wow, I'm actually going to get this, this is my time. And I tried, because I tried to have it as it was like a trophy sort of case for him almost, even though there's more to it than that. It was each tooth was, he was excited to add to that collection each time. And
you could definitely see the elation in that character when he creates his trophy. It's kind of like
that's definitely well, that's definitely what I tried to add anyway. That was definitely something I added that wasn't in the script. But yeah, the script thankfully was so giving. So it's rare that you get a script, even a character with dialogue usually doesn't get given that much stuff to work with for a script. So it's lovely in that way.
Yeah, definitely. And did any part of the character actually resonate with you and stay with you after filming?
I mean, it's certainly hard to get out of that zone of feeling like yourself after. Yeah, because I mean, it's quite an isolating feeling when on set with everyone sort of just, you know, in their regular sort of, you know, the rest of the cast and crew are sort of just, I don't know, the filming's finished, so they're just back to being regular people. Where I've got to sort of get out of this. I don't know, when you've got all this makeup on and in this heavy costume, and you're playing this character that's in severe pain, and I think it does take a little while to get out of that and sort of feel like you can be, I don't know, feel like yourself again, feel sociable again. Like it does. There was a little process. Like, yeah, I think that would be about it. I think I just felt it was a little of an isolating feeling playing Alden Pick. So, and I think it takes it would take a little bit of time to sort of get back to just being normal and being yourself again.
Definitely. And I'm glad we didn't get a full method moment from you after the finishing stopped.
No,
you didn't get any national news, and that's all fine.
No, we're free of that, thankfully.
That's good. And were there any moments where the character surprised you? Perhaps any choices they made in the film or anything like that, where you read it and you thought, oh, I didn't actually see that coming.
So I wouldn't say so much in the first film. Like when reading it, I felt because he's in control most of his, like throughout most of the scene. I don't want to give too many spoilers to anyone who hasn't seen it, but the character does keep good control of his situations most of the time. So there aren't many times where the character Alden is actually shocked from his situation. So I don't think I was really shocked by much of his behavior after, apart from, you know, obviously when I read the different kills in the scenes and I'm like, oh wow, that's interesting, but I wasn't thinking it was an out of character moment necessarily. The sequel we're filming at the moment, on the other hand, there's scenes that I'm yet to film where I'm a little bit like, this will be interesting. This is this character in a completely different light. So he'll be, yeah, things will, even though his methods are more straightforward in the first one, the sequel will be putting Alden to the test more. So
fantastic. They always say that the sequel is where you ramp it up, right, to build the franchise. Yeah. So people expect bigger and bloodier and more intense. No, so hopefully
every sequel has to deliver that when it's a horror. Like,
yeah, exactly. No pressure. We've got it. You've got this. And do you have a favorite memory from filming so far?
I did. Even though it was one of the most grueling shoots, I have such a good memory of that scene in the tower when filming that. I really love the way that scene looks. I think it's shot beautifully, and it was such a cool setting. Like when we first got to location and the crew put together like the lighting and lit up the tower, and you could just sort of stand back and look at it, and it was just this beautiful old ruins just glowing. And it was just, I don't know, they're just those little visuals, like when you see an amazing site on holiday or something, seeing that, the site of that ruins, and then I think it's so effective in the film as well, like that drone shot when it goes up and there's loads of broken glass on the floor, but the way the light hits it, it makes it almost look like stars when on the ground, which I just think is a beautiful shot. And I love the way that my character behaves in that scene too. I think that was, even though it was a grueling shoot, it was an all-night one in March and we were all freezing. I remember fantasizing about my car's radio heater, like towards the end of that shoot. I was imagining what it would be like to be around warmth.
Just having the basic amenities like central heating, you know. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, yeah, when you're working all night, the tireder you get, the colder you feel, I find. So like yeah, I do recall that we were all feeling a bit non-human towards the end of that shoot, but it was worth it. It was incredible.
and would you say that was probably your most grueling scene as well, or is there another moment that stands out for you that was either physically or emotionally more challenging?
I think that was the most grueling one. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the opening scene wasn't grueling, but it was tough because that was shot in the summer and we were fighting daylight every day. So every day we were fighting daylight the whole night. So when it was coming to the end of the shoot, we were just rushing through the last few bits because we just didn't have the option of filming for much longer. And I remember that being a bit of a rush at the end, and but it all came together so nicely. So yeah.
And is there anything you can tell our audience that they wouldn't expect about making the film? Is there any kind of behind the scenes kind of gossip or any information you could give us at all that wouldn't give it away for anyone who hasn't seen it?
There was one scene that went terrifically wrong when filming it, but I mean it is giving away a little bit. But there's a moment where a character's feet is meant to get like sawn, and it was originally meant to be like the effects we had for it were like going to be so gnarly, and it was gonna look so amazing. We had like they had a wooden floor with a fake pair of legs, and they made these prosthetic feet which were like filled with prosthetic blood, like filled with blood, and we had these two blades that were going to go through the floor and cut and absolutely shred the feet to pieces.
Yeah.
And the blades were only just a slight bit too short, and the scene couldn't be done that way, and it had to be done in a completely different. We had to reshoot the thing in a completely different way, and that I remember everyone getting a little bit stressed on that. Apart from Jamie, who probably was stressed, but he hides it. He's a very chilled director, so which is great because it keeps everyone together. But
yeah, amazing.
I'm sure when he's stressed, I'm sure he's been stressed many times, but he's just great at hiding it, and which is, I think, a great quality for a director.
Oh, definitely. And I think that's the joy with like independent filmmaking in particular. Sometimes these challenges work out for the better. You have to think on the cuff and creatively switch it up a little bit. And sometimes that comes out best in the end product.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's still, I'll say what we got still works. It was just, you know, when you hear what's going to happen for a scene and you get excited about the idea of it and you think like, oh wow, that's going to be something that'll stick in people's minds forever. But alas, not everything's meant to be.
Okay, that's all right. We're hanging in there because it was still some great kills, and that scene in particular, it's up here. It's not leaving. So.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad.
And what's so different for you taking on a lead role against some perhaps of your supporting roles previously? What's the real difference that you can tell our audience about?
I mean, usually I always say I prefer playing a smaller role. Like I'm usually quite happier being the character that isn't the focus, because I think sometimes you can relax more and have more fun. Yeah. But then Alden Pick, because he's not in every scene and he's more like he only appears when trouble arises. So it was kind of like, even though he is the title character and the main character, it didn't feel like playing a main character, because I have played leads in the past, and it's great. It's a journey, but it's so consuming. Like it takes up all your thoughts. All you're doing is thinking about that character for the next over all that time, and there's so much pressure on you as the actor. I often prefer to not have that pressure. I'd always have more fun just playing a supporting role. But playing Alden Pick was great, and I didn't feel any of the pressures of playing a lead character in that, because I guess he's not on camera all the time. So
No, there is that, and that's actually kind of a good thing as well, to not always see the villain straight away or throughout the whole film. You never know when they're going to appear, and that adds to the suspense.
So absolutely. I mean, I get to play a lead character without the rule, without the pressure, without that schedule pressure of a lead character, I guess.
Definitely. And what do you think it is that makes indie horror so special?
Um, I think as it can be more daring. It's a lot more room for ideas, and I think horror is one of those genres where it can actually benefit from a low budget. It can benefit from feeling raw. Sometimes it can be it can I say it can benefit. It can be better for being raw, because sometimes you feel like you're actually watching something happen rather than rather than watching a movie, like, which Hollywood I don't think really can deliver. Where, like, some of my favorite films are like the original Last House on the Left and the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which are two films where I feel like you almost forget you're watching a film and you just think you're watching something really nasty happen. And I think Hollywood couldn't create that in the same way. Like,
Yeah, I think sometimes that some of the big studio releases, especially at the moment, like May, we had a bumper month. It was carnage this month trying to get out of the cinema. It was just crazy. But some of those releases do feel, I think they just feel a little bit too polished. And a lot of the studios kind of follow the same formulas. They follow the same beats. So you know at a certain timestamp, okay, we're going to get this kind of jump scare. Or now the character's going to kind of go this way. And although the stories may differ, the kind of twists and the narrative kind of remain the same. And that's something that I think that independent filmmaking really challenges creatively, to kind of swerve those mechanisms and those tropes within the filmmaking industry themselves, within the genre, not just a genre trope in terms of the characters, but in terms of the way the films are constructed.
Yeah, absolutely. And because, like, obviously a film made with a big budget is, even though horror is its own niche in a way, like, to make a film with a big budget, you're still going to try and appeal as many people as possible, and you're thinking of horror. You could be thinking of horror fans, but you've also got to think of all the other people that will be coming into a big release, where indie film has that leeway to appeal to certain niches of horror audience, so certain people will resonate with certain things more, and it opens up the film industry to give, because horror fans are often looking for lots of different things, and indie horror allows it to be catered to.
Yeah, and I think as well with the recent surge, well, not so recent. I mean, obviously Saw and things like that started as indie films, but more recently, obviously, we've got Backrooms, Obsession. Independent filmmakers are hitting the forefront of those production studios, and they're actually now a real big eye on that. So it's a great time to be an indie filmmaker and to be an indie film.
I saw Obsession the other day. It was great, but, like, I didn't realize it was an indie film that was done on under $1 million budget. And I've been seeing loads of articles about how much money it's made, which is incredible.
Obscene.
Yeah.
I think he sold the script and everything for about 14 million to the studio. So he made a lot before it was even released, because they knew what they had on their hands. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah. It's special though, isn't it? So I mean, it's very hard to see a film like that and actually believe all the hype that you see from people like myself. Go see this film, and you're like, okay, and then you see it and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's real.
Really good. Yeah,
exactly. And why do you think horror fans connect so deeply with these stories in independent horror?
I think because independent horror has the ability to be more original, and I think everyone, like, horror, I mean, it's been around longer, but, like, I feel like horror craze has been going on since the 70s, right? And like the sort of the horror form of what we have now, I feel like sort of began in that sort of format began in the 70s, and it's been that's like what, like 50 plus years, and originality is hard to find. So, but, well, I suppose originality is hard to make safely. So, with this, the low budget frees people up to be more creative, and people can get these ideas and they can flesh them out and put them on screen. And the fact of this modern age with the internet and how easy it is to be seen, like films that were filmed in the 80s were probably been buried to someone's old VHS collection if it wasn't for the way the internet is now, and things like Shudder and Tubi and all these things unearthing all these old films don't die anymore. And if something's good, even if it doesn't rise immediately, it will rise later, because it just takes enough eyes to see it, and horror fans love to share their finds. So
well, I mean, it's keeping me in business, so yeah. And I will say as well, to speak to that, there's amazing rise of independent platforms as well. You've got Bloodstream TV, Foursome, obviously Alter on YouTube for the shorts, and of course Found TV, which I trawl regularly over some of the bigger platforms. I'm kind of veering away from Netflix. Sorry, Netflix. And kind of steering more towards those indie ones, because they give filmmakers at that level an opportunity to show their work and not get lost in the melee of the giant productions, right? So
it's great. And the more these platforms that exist, like, the more niches they can fill, so the right person can find the right platform for them, and hopefully that platform will be full of new discoveries for them by people who wouldn't get the chance to be seen in other places. So
exactly. So I just have one last question before I hand over to the wonderful Claire. So you mentioned earlier two of your favorites in Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Last House on the Left. If you could recommend two other horror films to schedule as a double feature for us to get to know you, what films would you choose?
What, as in like films that reflect my personality, or my two favorite horror films?
Either choice, whichever you prefer.
I mean, my two favorite horror films. That's easier for me to answer. My favorite is John Carpenter's The Thing. I think it's just an incredible film, and I can rewatch it so many times. I'm always trying to think of something else. Well, I'm not trying to think, but I'm always having different theories of what was going on when the camera on the characters, who gets infected first. You know, it's always like. So I love that film. I think it's a masterpiece. The other one, my favorites, I think, is the 1990 version of It, with Tim Curry.
I love that version.
Yeah, like that film terrified me when I was 8 years old, and absolutely traumatized me to the point I couldn't even watch all of it. And then I went back to it when I was about 14, and I think because it terrified me so much, it means even more to me. Like, I just think it's such a great story told, and even if the ending's a little iffy, like, it's still, apart from that, it's such a great story, such great child actors. Tim Curry's amazing. I take it over the remake any day, because I think less is more in that story. I think the subtle bits shine, the subtle scenes shine in the original one. Like,
I think it definitely is. It was my gateway into horror as well, and similar age. I remember sneaking in and seeing it when I shouldn't have been watching it, and I actually developed an irrational fear of Tim Curry because of that feature. So
wow!
Thank you so much to the director of that It mini series, because I couldn't watch anything with Tim Curry until around about the age of 16. Morbid fear of one person. It was not okay. But there we are. But that's the effect of great filmmaking, but also something to be said for watching stuff too young, because we all do it. So.
I do recall
that was one that definitely got me at that age as well, and it was just like, I'm like questioning some choices here. What I'm watching, but it's I rewatched the original before I watched the remake, because obviously you forget things as you get older, and the original still has that place in my heart, and I do think it is the better film.
Yeah, I thoroughly agree. Like, I still, when I was a kid, I still recall, like, when trying to go to bed, I'd look at my posters and then expect them to, like, wink at me, and like, because I think that scene is such a little thing, but it's so creepy, and as a kid, I don't know, it just freaked me out.
Yeah, we had in our gym at school, in my secondary school, there was there had showers and stuff because we had a swimming pool on site. So on our swimming lessons, obviously you remember the scene with Seth Green where you got the werewolf coming out the drain. Every pigging time, it would be the hand coming out of the drain. In my head, I'm going, no, I'm okay. I'll shower at home. I'm good. I know that space. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not okay.
Those extending shower heads got me too, and
Yeah.
and obviously the guy getting sucked into the tube, like that bit.
Yeah, that's
that
enough.
It's still creepy to this day, I think, that scene. But
Definitely.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few little questions, bring it back to the event in September, because you are coming along, thankfully. What was it? So when Reese reached out to me about you guys attending, did he speak to you guys first, or did he just be like, "Oh, you're doing this"?
he didn't tell me I was doing it. I think he did. I think he did ask. I wasn't told. I think some of it was more, "Are you free on this day?" But still, I was asked. And
He's not just dragging you
I was
along.
taken. I was taken aback. Like I was like, wow, yeah. If I'm invited, then absolutely, I'd love to come. Like that sounds incredible. And yeah, being someone who loves going to like conventions and stuff myself, I mean, to come as a guest is exciting for me. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, no, it's really about, and the whole thing with this is just it's showcasing the actors from indie horror, because you know there is so much of a platform for your Hollywood actors, and I know Janine agrees with me on this. You guys don't get that same kind of platform, and that's what we really want to embrace on this. It's to kind of like make you guys shine. So what can fans expect when they see you in September?
Well, I'm. So, I mean, one thing I've been told is that I'm going to be in costume for some period of the time. So you will be able to expect to meet me, to be able to get a photo of me in full R.I.P Man gear, if that is something that people wish for. But also, like, I will be happy to answer any questions and happy to have a chat with anyone who wants to talk about the film with me or anything else. Like, yeah, I'd just love to meet anyone. And if anyone's a big fan of the film, I'd love to meet them.
Yeah, no, it's when Reece said like, oh, he can do it in costume as well. It was like, oh, absolutely. And when we spoke to Max, he said about the first time he met you in costume, because he came into filming late, and he said it did he was a bit like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think like when I first met Max and Jasmine, they were both. I was already in costume by the time they got there, or something. And yeah, as I said earlier, it's quite an isolating feeling. So I wasn't feeling that talkative that day. I don't think so. It was.
You're just trying to stay in the mood and just.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think I freaked them both out on that first day. I think. From what they say from what I've heard them say, at least.
I mean, you kind of would though, wouldn't it? You're not expecting. You're like, oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You feel a bit weird as yourself in that full get-up, just being like, "Hey, I'm Owen. Nice to meet you." Like,
and you mentioning about it earlier. That's exactly what Alexander Skarsgård did with the children the first time. Full costume, full outfit, the eyes, the voice, everything. He didn't meet them as himself for a few days. That's how you get the reaction. Yeah, that's method.
Yeah. Well, I guess there was a little method there then. Like, no.
Yeah, we'll take that as method. That's it. Wonderful.
Yeah, people can see you for photos of in costume or out of costume. Obviously, there's autographs and selfies. We do have you in a panel, so that will be really interesting. Out of all of that, what part are you looking forward to the most?
I think meeting people will be incredible. Like, yeah. Obviously, like a panel will be really fun as well. Like, and yeah, and obviously taking photos in and out of costume will be it'll all be really fun. I'm looking forward to it all. But yeah, I think just getting to meet people who are fans of the film is what I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about the indie horror community. It's everyone's just, you know, the community means so much to them, and so kind of getting to interact with people that are attending is what I think most people are like. That's the biggest part for them. So, okay, so moving on, we have a little quick fire round for fun.
Okay.
No, we can't be serious all the time. Hero or villain?
Oh, what? As in just like what I prefer. Villain.
We do love a villain. Practical FX or CGI?
Practical.
Your favourite horror lead character?
Nancy from Nightmare on Street.
Oh, nice. Your dream horror franchise?
Scream.
Nice. Your best late night filming snack?
Popcorn, but that Joe and Seth's popcorn that's like the one with the where they have the really strong flavors on them.
Yeah.
That stuff is
slight side note, they did an amazing orange marmalade one for Paddington and it was gorgeous.
Oh wow. I'm such a big fan
Never
of Joe.
seen it since.
Like,
You're watching.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Tea, coffee, whiskey, or something else?
Coffee.
You're a coffee person. And then final one, if the R.I.P man was to knock at your door at 3 a.m., are you answering or pretending not to be home?
I mean, I'll try and pretend not to be home. I certainly won't want to meet him. Like, there can't be any good reason he'd want to come see me. So
that is fair. That is definitely fair. And I think that would be a really surreal one as well, given that you played him, and it'd be like if he was real and knocked on your door, it'd be like, what?
I mean, I know
Spider-Man moment right there.
Right?
Alternate universes and all. But that is all from us. So thank you so much for joining and taking part and just getting to teeth clear, letting us get to know you a bit better.
Been an absolute pleasure. No, thank you.
Brilliant. Well, that is all from us. So thank you so much to everyone watching as well, and we will see you in September.
Bye.
See you then.